Being into e-retail, you guys all may be knowing a very similar set of requirement for any marketplace or any platform that you want to create. Uh, Whether it is creating more value for your users, your buyers and suppliers, what kind of revenue model you're gonna have, what kind of ROI are you going to provide to your sellers or for yourself, what kind of value systems are you going to do for your buyers. Some of the bottommost items, brand equity and relationship, customer support, and continuous performance measurement, often gets ignored. So I have made it a point to put it there. Some of the key learnings, in a 1996 era when there is a market very small. So today, if you really see, e-commerce market is at around 4,000 crores, 40,000 crores, and it is expected to grow almost 100% year on year for the next 2-3 years. It is at the inflection point. But there have been e-commerce attempts in the past. From the B2B point of view, it was a very small market to begin with, and there was not ready-made market. So we chose exporters. Within SME, a particular segment called exporters only. Why? Because the globally, buyers at least had the access to internet. Here in India, maybe the people did not have the access to internet, and people globally had access to internet. One of the key innovation that we have to do, or key compromise that we had to do to keep ahead of the race, was printing all the inquiries generated through internet and sending it by post or by fax here in India. That's one of the key items to create the market and stay ahead of the curve. So when the market actually became ready sometime around 99-2000, we already had a loyal supplier base and a loyal buyer base. Some of the latest innovation that we have done, is free online business catalogs, advertising supported. If you might have seen recently, Google also launched a free website for SMEs very recently, and they have targeted to do about 3 lakh or 5 lakh within 3 years or 5 years. To tell you frankly, we started this about 3 to 5 years back, about 4 years back, and we have already done 4 lakh such free websites or free catalogs on IndiaMart. So, it's always innovation to stay little ahead of the curve. That pays off. If you are too ahead of the curve, or if you are too behind the curve, that may or may not work wonderfully. It's the right timing and right processes that would allocate that. Another thing, you might have seen there are too many lead generation companies today. So travel lead generation, financial lead generation, insurance lead generation. And in most of the cases, what happens is there is a form which anybody fills up, and you typically, if you are buying leads, for your businesses, the leads are pumped to you in a black hole. They are pumped to you in a black hole. You are blindly receiving those leads. You don't know what is the quality of those leads, whether I can serve that market or not. So what happens is everybody is paying almost 40 to 50% for the leads that he does not require. Because you want those other 50% of the leads, you ended up paying for all the 100 leads, and 50 you anyway did not require. But from the point of view of the media agency which created leads for you, they actually created 100 of them. So they are, even if you don't require the other 50, they are building in the cost of all those into those 100 leads. What we did simply was pick and choose a buyer or pick and choose a lead. So all the leads in the real time actually come and display on our platform in the real time. And then as a lead consumption company or as a e-commerce company or as a any SME or anybody can actually go and select the leads that he requires. You know, you can actually read the lead. So leads are only two items which are more important, which are hidden, you know, telephone number and email. Rest everything about the lead can be read, can be understood, and if you can serve that, what happens in turn, every lead price is reduced. You are able to focus on the business which you actually want, and all the leads get served equally well, because otherwise earlier what was happening, half of the leads where the buyer actually came to a landing page, filled up, did not get served. Here what is happening is all the leads are equally getting distributed. I mean, as a supplier or as a lead consumption person, nobody has ever had a choice to choose a buyer. You never have a choice to choose a buyer. I mean, that's one thing is working very well for this. Another innovation that I can tell you, tender information. You know, you must have seen newspaper, half of the newspaper is filled with tender information. And there are a lot of services that got created, including on India Mart, providing subscription services for tenders, you know, aggregating every information. We realized that this is more of a value-added service to our B2B providers, B2B service providers and B2B owners, and we made it free. What happened is it created a lot of stickiness on our website by doing that, because it was a real target market. By doing it free, we actually accounted for 80% of the market share on the traffic market share. And so if we were doing paid, there were 5 people surviving in the marketplace only, and each one of them were not sufficient enough for advertising revenue to be able to do that, and that's why they were selling it on subscription revenue. Now by doing it free, 80% of the marketplace got market share got concentrated, and that also paved the way for advertising revenue sufficient enough to serve that purpose. See, so many times we see that subscription models have a very high churn rate or high attrition rate. In most of our cases, you know, service-oriented business cases, a large portion of our cost get into service renewals, you know, yearly service renewals or monthly service renewals. So we realize that 33% of the cost actually gets to actually spent on service renewal cost. We passed on that to consumer and offered him at 33% discount for a longer period. Now this is a very, very similar concept as buy 2 get 1 free or buy 1 get 1 free. In US, if you really see, a 1-year subscription for any magazine comes at 100 rupees, $100, then a 3-year would actually come at 150 itself or 200 itself, not at 300. And that actually worked very, very well with SMEs, not having to deal with the renewal and we not having to deal with the renewal issues.